think about this record attendance game?
I mean, I think it was, start with the obvious. It was a fantastic event and something we should only be looking to do more of, to get that engagement and get that many people travelling. And from the looks of it, it was a lot of relatively locals, either people from the south of France travelling round, or from the local area coming to support the game, as well as a decent contingent of Wigan fans that you're always going to get, and that's why you choose Wigan to play that game, because Wigan fans do travel to those sorts of games the same way they went down under last year.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be a decent bet for a game like this. And I think it really did have that intensity and feel to it, like it was almost a level above a regular Super League because of the occasion. That kind of added something to it. And I think that was shown with those two injuries early on to Greenwood and Greg Bird tearing his bicep. It was almost like it was a sort of cup semi-final or final or grand final. It had that sort of extra sense of occasion, that extra intensity that sort of lifted both teams towards it.
Yeah. No, can't disagree with that.
Yeah, and I think the penalty given away in the first half was just such a silly penalty to give away from Wigan. I just overall throughout the day, I just thought Zach Hardacre didn't quite seem fully with it. He seemed almost like he didn't really respond to the occasion in the way you'd expect someone with his experience probably would do. It's almost like he was sort of over. I think if he was a younger player, you'd say the occasion had got to him. But it just didn't quite seem someone who you'd be looking to and who's presumably on the money that to rise to that occasion. He didn't really come good. And I think that was sort of to the detriment of Wigan, because I think they needed that extra guy. I thought again, Sean O'Loughlin just didn't look there. He didn't look like he was at the races.
No, he's definitely a retirement candidate. The retirement village is calling lockers, I'm afraid.
And apparently he wants to go around again, but I just can't see that how you could justify that given the sparsity of minutes he's playing.
Yeah.
And with the interchange rules as they are now, you have that so few interchanges to use that you haven't got room for a passenger.
No. To me, I think it's about knowing when to go out. You can't always go out on your own terms. Not everyone gets a like Peacock's last game or what those kind of things. That it doesn't happen for everybody. Sometimes you just need to realise that your body is starting to let you down, and now that his body's letting him down, so's his mouth. Because he's not getting away with the kind of the stuff that he used to do, and he's literally giving away points now. In terms of his chatter, to me, it's a thanks for your service, but we'll let's remember you as the legend that you are, rather than a sad husk of the man that you used to be.
Yeah, I think Catalan they were really fired up. It reminded me of the cup final, the way they rose to that occasion and they came forward and really stood out. I thought Sam Cassiano really stood out, although he was clearly blowing from quite early on.
Yes,
and he was not enjoying that heat or the occasion, but he was being dragged over really by the sheer force of himself and his teammates, and they did so well to keep him on the field as long as they did.
Yes, I think so.
And I think
you could see he was
value out of him.
Yeah, no, completely. You could tell he was knackered, and then he gets up and scores, which I think says a lot about the Wigan goal line defence. Not great from them. I mean, obviously, injuries and kind of players missing kind of forced Catalan to go with quite a conservative game plan. They didn't really have the halfback on the pitch, so they decided just to run down the middle instead, and it worked. they were making busts. I mean, Wigan had halfbacks, but they just played like they didn't have any, which was a bit of a shame. They were, as Mark says, they were pretty shit. Let's be brutally honest. And Catalan fully deserved to be in the lead and comfortably in the lead before Wigan kind of made it semi-respectable right at the end. But Catalan were right up for this one, and they gave a they gave a Challenge Cup like performance.
Yeah, and I just thought it was clear, in that first half they were just going to try and control it, and then try and drag themselves through sheer force of will in the second half, and that's exactly what they did. And obviously Steve McNamara had planned that and designed that in. The good thing is that you know normally losing your halfback would be quite key, and would be losing that early on after what quarter of an hour, losing Greg Bird. But because it was Greg Bird and they were playing with an extra forward really anyway,
Yeah,
it didn't damage them. So they were fortunate in that regard that because he wasn't a real halfback to start with, it didn't really make much difference. It just, if anything, emphasised that need to go through the middle and use the big boys, and they did that well, and they did well to marshal and keep them on the pitch as much as they did.
yeah. I mean, I think Lange was nominally playing at standoff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But for a standoff to end with 171 meters, it means that your game plan is pretty transparent. You're not really passing it out too early. But to be fair, when they did get it out wide, Mead looked really good, and Williame was not as consistent as he has been in previous weeks. But when he injected himself, he was really dynamic, and really. Yeah, they outclassed Wigan on this one, I'm afraid, and it's not good for any Wigan fan to see.
No, and yeah, as Tom alluded to, they could well get sucked into the funhouse. So we shall see.
We'll see. I don't think they're quite as bad as KR and Leeds and London are to be honest. But I don't see them finishing much higher than above those three. To be fair.
Yeah, we shall see. Obviously,
We'll see.
They will have an injury crisis at some point to get their excuses in for. In terms of individuals, I think in terms of highlight moments, Samasoni Langi's try was probably my favourite of the game. I thought that was fantastic, and then also the Cassiano one where he just bundled up and said thank you very much. That was also brilliant.
Yeah, I liked Mead. Was it Mead's second try where he broke through the middle and was able to celebrate?
Yeah, he did the
kind of whooping up the crowd before he got over. Yeah, that was good. That was a real moment of the game. So yeah, that was my particular highlight. But yeah, it was a game full of highlights, wasn't it? The whole occasion and it was magic, really.
Yeah. Anyway. I think that's pretty much that game done and dusted. Time to move on to our final game of the weekend.
Yeah, so also taking place on Saturday because why wouldn't you put all your games on at the same time? This one finished Warrington 12, Hull FC 19, possibly one of the surprises of the round. It was 18-6 to the Black and Whites at half time, so they'd established it early. 10,600 people were there, and James Child in the singular was the referee. For the winning FC, Josh Griffin with 134 metres, Scott Taylor with a try, 125 metres and 2 clean breaks, Joe Westerman 142 metres, and Dean Hadley with 105 metres. For the losing wire, Bryson Goodwin 155 metres, 5 tackle busts, 3 offloads. Josh Charnley with 252 metres.
Oof.
And 5 clean breaks. That must be way up there as a record. Blake Austin with a try, 144 metres, and Chris Hill, 44 tackles and 111 metres. What did people have to say about this one?
So we had quite a few fan views on this one, and starting with Warrington 2-3-4-5. Hull FC is an easy fixture as we beat them at KC Stadium with a Blake Austin hat-trick, and today at HJ Stadium put 12 points past their try line. Worst performance at home ever.
I've seen much worse.
If that's your worst performance ever, you've got a long way to go. Must beat our round 6 opponents from last week at Anfield, and the Merseyside Rugby Derby will be Warrington's, but might be Wigan if they win.
Tom Andrews says, Paige had her eyes tested this morning. With her new glasses, she can read the smallest letters on the chart, but she still needed someone to confirm what she was reading on Twitter whilst following the score. Yes, Paige, Jake Connor really did just get sin-binned again. Did he get sin-binned twice in this one?
Oh,
I think.
Sure.
Maybe. At least once, possibly twice.
I don't know. Let's have a look at fighting in the 56th minute, and that's the only one he got sin bin for.
Okay.
Fighting the 56th. Although there was the on-report incident from Declan Patton for the alleged bike on Jake Connor, so it was earlier on. But then we also had the sin bin for Ben Murdoch-Masila for running in from half a mile away and coming into after Alakoaka's absolutely fantastic shoulder charge with the ball in the other arm, and he just shoulder charges just smack, absolutely fantastic. And I think who was it on the other end of it? Was it Scott Taylor?
I can't remember.
I think it was Scott Taylor, and just looked completely bemused, and then that then caused the fight that. But that was a brilliant moment of the game.
And what did Paige have to say in retort?
Yes, sorry, we got distracted by that. Paige said, "Enormous win for FC today. Great defence and players backing each other up. Fantastic team effort. No doubt Tom has got something to say about Jake the Snake, but think he should concentrate on how shit his own team are. However, I would like to thank him for some of the ex-Rovers players in Scott Taylor, Albert Kelly and Mickey Payer. They were immense today. Hashtag always in our shadow."
Yeah.
See, I was almost going to give Paige the win there, and she had to throw that hashtag in. But I think for the earlier comments on Tom's cake, I think she probably does just to get her nose in front this week.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, maybe. We'll see. Joshua's granddad says, after 2 maulings by the wire, needed something special, and 1-17 delivered. A 3-try burst in 10 minutes put the points on the board, and then bodies on the line in massive defensive effort. Ratu was again unbelievable, caught everything and hammered anyone who can get near him. Sneed drop goal was the cherry on the top. Yeah, so I've only seen highlights of this one, so yeah, because you will schedule these things on the same day. But yeah,
how many professional games were going on at the exact same moment?
Oh well, exactly. Several
5
dozen. So there was a game at the Bash.
Yeah.
There was a game at the New Camp. There were these 2. That's 4. There was the games.
And
then half a dozen at least. Half a dozen at least. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't particularly have much to say other than seeing the highlights, and obviously they were quite brief. It seemed like FC were quite dominant in terms of the middle. I thought Scott Taylor seemed like a player that was really stood up, and although he's not mentioned, he's there in the stats, and you can kind of see that. So yeah, that was. It seemed like the tries came from quick play the balls to me. Which is always something it doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you can win the contact and get quick play of the balls, you can make any team look average. Which obviously this was ultimately a surprise result. And Snade just he loves a drop goal, doesn't he? Just to secure a match. It's it's something he makes a bit of a specialty of, really. But yeah, it's. I don't really have much more to say about this game other than that.
Looks decent drop goal, and decent performance from FC to pull it out of the bag. But be one that would be frustrating for Warrington. And then if they come to the end of the season and they're 2 points short, I think it'll be one that they look back on. I think this is one where they could have had the opportunity.
Maybe so. I don't see them. I don't see them finishing anywhere other than second at the moment. I think they're not the match of Saints, but then again, I don't think there's anyone that's quite the match of them. So we will see if this form turns into a slide or whether it's just an aberration based on the efforts of the Challenge Cup the round before.
Yep. So that takes us nicely into the standings, where Saints remain top with 28 points. Wire are in second on 22. Catlan are now up to third. Hull FC in fourth, both on 18 points. Cass remain in fifth place. Wakey in sixth ahead of Salford, Wigan and Huddersfield. Meanwhile, down in the bottom in the Funhouse, it's all to play for as Leeds, Hull KR and London are all in places 10 to 12, separated by just points difference, all sharing 8 points. So it's anyone to play for them.